Good morning, everybody. Welcome. Happy Monday. I hope everyone's weekend was a good one. It was quite delightful for myself, but that's almost every weekend. And I say almost every weekend because, you do have your weekends that are just blah. And that's usually, you get bad news or something, but still, it still turns out to be a pretty good day. But still. It's that inconvenience part puts you down a little bit. I have been there. I'm sure many of us have been. But this weekend, and most weekends, I would say most weekends, the weekends that are really blah are few and far between, thankfully. Um, this weekend was quite nice. Yesterday, we had to run to the store because we had seen something that we wanted to try. So I was like, I really want to try this. We had to run to the store and get a couple of things. And we don't live terribly far from the store, so we just actually walked because it was beautiful out there. It was just beautiful outside. So we took a nice long walk to the store and back. Enjoyed the sunshine. Got that vitamin D. It's always recommended to get like 30 minutes of sunshine, So it was a nice long walk. All right, so when I left off, I was at this camp here. I can't build because there we go. There. I was just outside the thing. I was working on this camp here. I had already got the bones built, and then I was bringing you guys along to kind of just make it a little bit better. Because I don't think it's perfect. You get your idea, and then you get your idea down. It's like on paper, right? You get your idea down, and then you just start to like re-evaluate it, and then you start to fix it as it needs to be fixed. So we did that. We did just that. We came here, we changed the door around, we changed this around, and then it took about an hour, and then I spent about 30 minutes. Just talking about my journey, talking about my story, and kind of putting out there the things that I've been I've witnessed, the things that I've learned. So that was a stream. This stream will be more camp building. We've got a lot to do still to get this camp ready. But this is what it looks like now. I did change this so that way I could scooch these back and make it more clean. And then I wanted to put a awning down. So I'm like, oh, that looks perfect. And then I kept these up over here so that way we got open skies. So that's how that looks. And then in here, I went ahead and we started to get the loft area done, which was going to house the kitchen and then house the room. So I got the kitchen pretty much set. There's a few little tweaks I've got to do because I didn't have a coffee tin, and I found one. So now I have to redo this. And I will show you what I mean by redo it, because you're like, what do you mean redo it? These things can be moved. This cannot be moved. This coffee thing cannot be moved, just like these. Those cannot be moved. I knew I was going to regret it, but I wanted to see what it would look like with a canned coffee there. And I think I might get the canned coffee and put it on this one towards the edge, but I'm not too sure. But I want to put a coffee tin right there because it's got the coffee machine, and I think that would be good. And then I'll probably put the canned coffee right next to it. So we'll see. We'll see. But we got everything else pretty much good. I got this here set, this right here set, and that's all I wanted to do. I wanted these maybe push back forward, towards the back more, but I'm a little iffy at doing that because the wall on that picture, it might say it's intersecting. So I just kept it forward. And then I put down stuff here, got that wired. It looks like a nice little kitchen. It does. It looks like a nice little kitchen. I will put one of the daisy rugs in the center, though, to make it a little homey. But, and then I got, in here, let's see. You can see I didn't have any perfectly preserved pie. And the pumpkin pie is, I believe the pumpkin pie spoils. So, I'm kind of, lost, so I just put that in there. Because it kind of looks like it's a casserole to me. So, and all it is just spoiled meat, spoiled vegetables. that they'll look the same in a bowl. And to me, it looks like you're like making a casserole, like maybe a meatloaf type casserole or something. So that's kind of how it looks right now. It looks really good. It's turning out. I was like really pleased to get all this under here, especially with the stairs. I don't know if you guys remember my last stream. I was having trouble getting stuff underneath the stairway because these stairways have a large hitbox, so it comes down here. And so that's the dilemma. But I was able to use the sinking method to get this sunken in. So it's not as high, and I was able to get that to sit there. So I was happy. I was really happy. It's not lined up with this because of this section here, this little gap. I would go against the wall so that way it's lined up with this. However, it says it's intersecting. So this is as far as it would go. And I was going to take whatever I could get. I got it straight, and I was like, I'm leaving it. It's perfect. And it gives a nice little walkway here, so, and it gave me a nice little lip to put this here. So it worked out in the end. Over here, I got these, and this is a tricky thing to do too. I used the different walls, so I used the walls that are opened up. It looks like something has been at my camp devouring. That wall right there is pretty beat up. So what you do is just go down here and you replace the wall. That's it. You replace it with these if you have them. This is an Atomic Shop item. So I just put the Pavlon wall down and filled it up and then changed the wall back. And you're able to make use of the little space. This one, unfortunately, you cannot use anything here in this space because it says it's intersecting. So I was okay with that. I can make do. You know, I got something at least filled up. And then up here we have the bedroom. The bedroom is not done yet, but it is pretty much set. There's a few tweaks I've got to do. It'll keep evolving. I'll keep adding as things come and go. So, but this is how it looks right now. Definitely got the plants to bring in that nice, fresh atmosphere. I went with the Nuka Quantum wallpaper because I thought it matched the pink and purple that I was going with and the rug. I thought that was perfect with the black flooring. So it looks really well, and of course I got this cute little lamp. This lamp I have had for a long time. I think it is an Atomic Shop item. Let's check. But this lamp is adorable, and I use it often. Oh, it's not an Atomic Shop item. So it's just a lamp that you can get at a plan for. The Atomic Shop items are like this fish lamp. This here, the mid-century. And then these are just plans. That's one. And that's a plan. And I don't have these yet, which is fine because I don't really care too much for those. The planetarium mat. Oh, this one I do want. I wonder how much it is. Oh, I have enough for it too. We get the vintage shelter wallpaper. What does that look like? A vintage shelter wallpaper. A Volt fireplace. Mole rats painting, which I like that. The standing lamp. I already have the reclining stuff. The planetarium, landscape painting, Valentine's Day Mega Sloth pelt rug. That's that lamp. I like that painting, but I don't know what wallpaper they're talking about. The vintage shelter wallpaper. Maybe it's that? I know it's not that. I don't know if I want to waste all my items just to get this planetary. And especially when they have so many bugs. Like with the Nuka-Cola. They have a Nuka-Cola, the Nuka-Cola lamp. I got that immediately when it came out, and it's buggy. It works sometimes, maybe it works 25% of the time, and sometimes not even that. There's 5 people there. I wanted to go to Safe and Sound, so I wanted to walk you through that real quick. We'll go to Safe and Sound. I'll be doing events. I'm trying to get treasury notes because I'm going after my jetpack. I'm working on the quests that need to kind of get done with the main story. I know it's kind of like, why would you do that? You could do it as a ghoul. The reason I don't want to really do a whole lot, I'll do some of them as a ghoul, is you have to do back and forth of the your disguise. So you can't just equip it and then equip it. You have to go to that location, see the woman, she removes it. It's just to me a pain in the butt. Alright, we made it. We made it. We just wait for things to load in so we can actually see everything.
Glad it's definitely getting worse, all right.
We will join a team. Wow, there's like none. We'll join someone who's like more our maybe a ghoul though.
Glad, hurry. Not sure how long we can hold them off.
I'm on fire. Being this low level, and then I don't have my stats like 100%, so I'm not very powerful. I'm tanky though, like I can survive, but oh, the blue devil's like there, and I'm not even shooting him. All right, let's get some shots in. Hi guys. I don't know what happened.
What the heck? You got the juice turned too high, Clyde. Those secrets packed a punch. At least our noggins are in one piece. My teeth hurt a little. Anyways, hope the reward is enough. You really saved our behinds. Be sure to come on back once we clean things up.
It's better to go for the, like the, yeah, those there. There we go. It's gonna fall right on top of me. Where did it go? Oh, there you are. Alright, I'll take all that stuff. Pretty sweet. I'm gonna find the blue devil. There he is. I got a broadsider. Can't say that that's gonna be very useful for me. Bad musician.
Hasn't turned out the way I thought it would. See the world
Alright, I think that should be all of it. Let's see if there's any more stuff that we can pick up. Yep, there is some. Alright. Let's go back to White Spring Station, get rid of some of the legendaries that we might have. I don't know if I remember taking any out of my inventory yesterday. It was kind of a blur. I was just getting so tired. We had eaten tacos. My husband's I would just say my father-in-law made tacos and for everybody, so we ate tacos. And then I just started to so I ate, and then I would say about like an hour went by, and I'm like tired. Like I'm ready for, like, I was like, I told hubby, he had come downstairs. He was he went upstairs. He let the doggos out, and then hopped in the shower, and then he got his food. He came down, and I was like, I am just like looking. I'm just like, it's just, I just can't wait. And that's what I did. I was so vague. He was like, can't wait for, and I'm like, I just can't wait. And he's like, wait for what? I'm like, I can't wait for cuddles. I'm just like looking at the clock, and it's like we were gaming together, and I kind of was done for the day. We gamed for a couple hours, and it's just like we got back from the store, we gamed after we got breakfast, because we had eaten a little late, because I let him sleep in. It's the weekend, and it's Sunday. We really didn't have anywhere to go, not much to do, and so I just let him sleep in. He slept in until like 9 o'clock. I had already let the dogs out. The dogs have been outside. They've been fed, watered. I was up. I usually get up earlier than he does. But he works hard for us, so I let him get his sleep. If he wants to sleep in, he's gonna sleep in. There's no rush. Things can get done if we have things to get done. And planning things on the weekend is usually something we don't do. It's something that we will either be like, we're gonna go to, like, if we do plan a weekend, it's like a weekend date. We'll go to like Milwaukee or Madison. He's either taking me to the zoo, or he's either taking me to the zoo, or we're going, like, there's a zoo in Madison that's free, so we'll go there. If we don't want to spend a lot of money, you can go there. You can provide donations, and we usually use the money that we save to get something to eat. And then through his work, he gets pass for the Milwaukee zoo for free, up to 8 people. So if it's us and we want to take people, we can take people with us. It's one vehicle, up to 8 people. So we'll be doing that this year, and then we'll plan for that. But who makes time for that? Usually, if it's chores and stuff that we need to do around the house, we don't really care too much about getting it done, because we know it'll get done. I don't think I've got 154, which I could just like get rid of some of this stuff. Anything else in my inventory I don't need? I need to make some brain fungus soup before it goes bad. But that's usually what we do, so I let him sleep. I'm like, who works hard for us, who deserves to get, he wakes up so early. We do. During the work week, it's, he has an alarm set for 4. I have an alarm set for 4:30. So the 4 o'clock one is for him to wake up, and that way he could start kind of waking up, but he stays in bed and he just cuddles me. And then the 4:30 alarm that I set is for when he actually is getting up and getting ready for work, getting everything set. I don't think I'm gonna have enough for this stuff. Oh no. Yeah, I can do one of these. Darn. I'll do the wine. I'll wait till the rest of it goes. And then he gets up and then he'll like, get ready for work and such. And then he usually gets ready pretty quickly. So anytime he has available, he'll get back into bed and lay down for a little bit and just hang his legs over because his side of the bed is, just angle his legs over. And he just lets me cuddle up to him and complain that he has to leave. I just cuddle and try not to cry because I do. Because I do miss him when he's gone, of course. And I do get teary-eyed when he leaves. That's been just how it is. But we both know that it was the same. Like I would do the same. And he would drop me off at work or because at one time we worked at the same town, and it was just like a street over. So he would sit out. We get to my job a little early, and then we'd sit there, and then when it was time for me to go in, because I worked. Sorry. I had a stretch. So, he would sit there for a period, and then it'd be time for me to head in, and then it'd be time for him to head up to work. I worked 30 minutes before he had to be at work, so and then he'd be heading to work, and he literally was just around the corner. Alright, so let's see if there's anything else we could do.
Serve and protect.
No, there's not much of anything else. Yeah, we'll do tea time. Yeah, the reason that I'm doing these is just for the treasury notes, so I can get the jetpack. Once I get the jetpack, I'll probably get rid of my my mutations that I have, because I won't need marsupial. Marsupial takes my intelligence. It takes 4 from my intelligence, and if I have a jetpack, I don't need marsupial. I can use the jetpack to get up. So I'll end up doing that. And then
Hello again, friends.
tea time.
I'm pleased to announce that the boilers here at the Giant Teapot are full again.
Oh, look at that.
Means my special
A treasure hunter.
nothing
Well,
but
isn't that,
joy. So, if you fancy a nice cuppa, the more the merrier.
if you could just stop running, because I can't shoot and walk at the same time. Ankle. I honestly thought those were over. Might be over today at 11, so. Don't know if anybody else is gonna join tea time. You could do this by yourself, honestly. I'm gonna make sure I've got Mike's good with salt on, because I'm a little paranoid about my... I don't think that this should have been, like, that far in the spoiling process. Cranberries. I'll take the stem pack. There's a bowler hat, a honey jar. Oh, there's only 2 of us here. This world's probably dead. Yeah, there's like nobody here. Well, maybe I won't do tea time. I don't know if I'll be able to do it by myself. If I was on my higher level character, it wouldn't be a problem. But with this account, I don't have enough OP to continuously like keep going to VATS, and my AP drain is faster than my other one. So what we'll do, we'll go to the camp, and then we'll switch accounts. Not switch accounts, we'll switch worlds, and then hopefully we'll find a world that is kind of full with people that are doing events. That way we can get the treasury notes. Because right now I've got just what I've earned. I want to say, I had 44. So yesterday I used up the 4. I didn't do any events. I was like completely oblivious to. I was like, oh wait, maybe I should do this instead. And I was just building my camp, and then I'm like, okay, I need to start doing my because I went to the foundation, and I was like, oh, I gotta go turn in my treasury notes. Thinking again that I had as many. I've got like 1900 on my high level, and so I did that, and I was like, oh, wait a minute. This isn't my high level character. So I didn't have enough. Dang it, I wanted to jump, but it won't let me jump. I don't like going all the way around. This is nuts. Just, come on. Just to get to,
I never imagined that I would share a home with somebody.
I am just looking. I always look to see what,
Like this.
ammo. Oh, it's a raider one. They do ammo. That's interesting. Okay. Alright, so I'm just going to these because I want to see if there's any notes, any plans that people may have that I don't. This character is still very, a little. Oh, it just tells you what everything is. Oh, that's not anything I care about. Interesting, dude. I should probably turn off my ringer. I do that when hubby goes to work. And I got 21, so we'll see what they've got. It was just my duel. Old man winter. Alright, so is now people? Oh, there's people there now. I guess I should have double checked with that. If I can check their vendor real quick, maybe I can make it to get the treasury notes, but where their vendor is, I don't know. I don't like when people have their vendors like in places that make no sense. Alright, we'll just go to tea time because I really do need those treasury notes. I can always revisit this camp. The caps are not really that big of an issue. Like, I don't know how true this is. I'm gonna have to watch this later. This would be, like, really, really sad, actually. Let's go to Google.
friends. I am so pleased to announce that the boilers
Oh.
here at the Giant Teapot are full again. That means my special blend will be bubbling up shortly. So if you fancy a nice cuppa, the more the merrier.
My VATS is like really bad here. I'd rather do the aiming. I need to get VATS a little bit better tuned. It's almost over.
Goodness! One
There we
would
go.
think these creatures would be accustomed to this by now. Boilers report the water temperature is 92.7653 degrees. Still a ways to go for proper tea. One can't rush such things.
This boiler's like almost at half-life. They must have just been paying attention to those two instead of these. Oh, we got it. We got it. If I can do this, I'm just trying to get my coffee. Oh, my thing's stuck. There it comes. I like the viewpoint from here because then you can see it. Like there's a blood book right there. I have 30 rounds in this one, and I should probably change it to 25. If I change it to 25, it'll go up to armor penetration, so it'll do a little bit more damage. I just don't have the, I don't have that mod yet.
Gracious. Shame.
Alright, last wave.
Is required to get a proper cup of tea. What is the world coming to? Water temperature in the boilers is now 178.6321 degrees. Just a little bit longer.
That's too funny. Okay, I just wanted to make sure that my music was still on. I couldn't really hear it. I'm using hubby's mic because he usually attaches this to the other PlayStation 5, the one that he typically uses. But on the weekends, he usually stays up. So Friday night, Saturday night, he usually stays up later because he's got friends that he games with. And during the work week, he usually does not. He usually doesn't really do a whole lot of gaming with other people during the work week because he doesn't spend a whole lot of time with me. But during the weekend, he's got all day with me. And it's just like I tell him, you spend the entire week with, gaming with me. And I understand that you've got your buddies and you want to hang out with them. So that is completely okay. So what I'll do is I'll either log off, depending on how tired I am, or he will, game on the other PlayStation 5, and I'll take this one, and he just talks with them. But most of the time he stays up well past when I'm gaming. Cause I can't. I'd rather just like lay back, relax. I can't go from gaming to sleep. I have to like have that wind down period. So there's a dog there. There we go. There's a frog like right here. He's like hopping. I can see his head hop. Like I can't really get to him. Oh, and I fell off the thing. Ah.
Ah, there's the whistle. The tea is steeping now at the perfect and precise 205 degrees. You've done a fine thing here today. Huzzah!
All of these, they get stuck down here. There we go. Oh, there's no Nuka-Cola. How unfortunate. Darn. Oh, here's some purified water. I'll take that. Alright, let's go ahead and we'll go back to the camp until another event pops up. Work on the camp a little bit more. And also dump all the stuff that we're carrying because I don't want to carry that around. But as I was saying, so who games later, he stays up late, hangs out with his pals, he's got gaming buddies that who hangs out with. It's just like he spends, like, who makes it a priority to spend time with me after work, knowing like how much I miss him, and he misses me too. So because I tell him, if you ever come home and you want to just unwind and you want to play a different game, you don't have to. He's like, no, I want to game with you. I want to enjoy our time together. I want to spend time with you doing something that we both enjoy. And then we also we eat dinner because we just eat as we go. So I'll have dinner done, usually done or almost done by the time that he gets home from work. And we pray, and then we come to our area, our gaming areas, and we sit down and game and eat dinner. And then usually between 5 and 7, depending on the day, we'll hop off. If I'm like super tired, like if it's a long day, or if I'm like, if I see that he's getting bored, and I'll be like, or if his friend messages him, I'll be like, I think it's okay. You're still spending time with me because you're sitting right next to me. And he'll usually, because our one gaming is like, our TV is, we have a TV at on our bedside, so in the gaming station, so we could just sit in bed and game. And then the other one is like 6 feet away, and its own little gaming, so that you actually have to sit. But the one with our bed, he'll lay back, and I can just cuddle with him and watch him and game, and spending time with him, doing something he enjoys, and he's getting time with his friends, especially if he's had like a really rough day. And I want him to be relaxed when it comes time to like start to wind down. So that's something that we do. But typically there's days where we usually stay on gaming until 7. So we get about 3 hours of game time together. And then we cuddle for another hour to 2 hours, depending on what time we go to bed. If usually on Monday nights, like because Monday is usually a really rough day. But for him, he'll be ready to go to bed by 7. So we will be like literally Like, we'll get off the video game, wind down, and then he'll start to fall asleep. So typically we're in bed by 8. So it's really good to have that schedule. And a lot of people think that if you have to schedule it, it's not special, but it is, because we're making time for each other during those points. We make it a habit to prioritize our time together. Like in the morning, we get up earlier than needed to prioritize the cuddle time before he goes off to work. And then, at the end of the day, it's also, he prioritizes and I prioritize being together with him. I miss him, throughout the day and when he's not here. So it's just like, I'm not going to say that I'm going to just be here and not going to, and I'm not going to, I must have, yeah, there it is. And that I don't want to spend time with him. I mean, it's a given I do. And if it's still gaming, walking, whatever the weather is outside is what determines what we're going to do. Typically, if it is a beautiful day and we have plenty of daylight, we usually will go for, but one thing I want him to do is rest because he works all day. But he does usually treat me to, going for long walks or going down to go fishing during the summer. Oh, it's such a good view from here. So I love that about our relationship, and it wasn't always like that. We had to work towards it. We had to make mistakes. We had to learn. And I think a lot of people, when they see us, are like, "Oh, you guys are just so, it's that honeymoon phase," and it's like, no, honeymoon phase is long gone. We have been together for far longer than you think, because some people think that we've been together not long, because we hadn't been like married that long. It's like, no, you may think that we hadn't been married, but when you read the Bible, and this will be a little explicit maybe, hopefully, I don't know what YouTube's going to do, but when you read the Bible, it doesn't say that they have a whole marriage ceremony. God tells them to take a wife, go into her, and then that's the marriage. So initially, what the Bible is saying, and a lot of people aren't going to want to hear this, and they're going to, oh, that's old. I don't think it changed any time during the Revelation. Not that I've seen. I'm reading the Bible again. So I might be wrong. I'm not an expert by any means, but this is my understanding when reading the Bible. There is no marriage ceremony. Typically, marriage ceremonies are based on what people wanted to do. But for God, when you marry somebody, that is essentially being intimate with them. That is the marriage. So a man choosing a woman, and when he goes into her, that is him choosing a wife. A lot of people maybe see TMI, but my husband was my first. I had no relations with any other man. I never had a boyfriend. I wasn't even kissed by another man, other than my dad, kissing me on the cheek and stuff, of course, but like I've never been in a romantic relationship with another man before, or as a kid, I was, never in a relationship with a boy. So, I was pure. And I saved myself. I was adamant about saving myself for marriage. I wanted to save myself for my husband. Like, my one true, that's who I wanted to I didn't just want to have sex with anybody. It has to be, like, the man I'm going to spend the rest of my life with. And coincidentally, he was the same way. He didn't just want to, welcome anybody. He wanted that one woman. So both of us were virgins. And we both were each other's first. And when I started to get on this walk, like at the beginning of our relationship, I was like, this is, me saying yes to you. And, I told him that, I was very open with everything about how, how I perceived, like I wanted it to be, him. I was choosing him. When I said yes to him, I meant it, and I meant that is in, yes, I'm going to be here, and I'll stay by your side no matter what. And let me, I kind of, it looks black, and I want it to be black with silver. But not gonna lie, because I think that would look so good. I think that would look so good. Anyway, I wanted him to know that I was honest. And I didn't think that it would be as rough. You know, I didn't understand that, you know, things are gonna be a little difficult and whatnot, but you know, it is what it is. It's life. Life is not easy. And the things that you want most in life, it's not easy. You have to learn, especially when you're being with another person. You have to learn. Everyone has their traumas. Everyone has the things that they've grown up, you know, being told and learning the incorrect way. Myself included. I was not perfect. I'm not perfect at all. But, you know, what I'm saying is that you have to learn that person. You have to learn them. And when you get past that lovey-dovey phase, you know, where they can't do any wrong. And when you get past that, and then you start to see, you know, you start to see their flaws. You start to see who they really are. A lot of people do. A lot of people are like, this is too hard, I can't do it. But that's the challenge. That is walking through the shadow of the valley of death, right there. Walking in the shadow of the valley of death is doing the hard thing. It's not running from, it's not hiding from, it is looking that dead in the eye and saying, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do this, especially if you love that person. If you love that person, you're going to stick by them. Even when it gets hard. I mean, that's marriage right there. I think I might just go ahead and do this. I have a lot of legendary script like that. So I'm like, I'm not too concerned. Like, if you're having your vows, it says, you know, from sickness into health, you know, for better or for worse. And then people, when it gets worse, they get out. You know, if someone cheats, they're done. I'm not gonna, you know, they don't understand that people are fighting their own battles, and when it comes to a person cheating, there's a lot of different reasons, and you have to understand that with everyone fighting these demons and these thoughts, that we come out, like, we are born sinners. That's just how we are. We're born sinners because we're born of this earth. So we have Satan down here and his little minions, and they like to get into your head. And the one thing that I try to remember is when God says that your thoughts are not my thoughts are not your thoughts, for my thoughts are greater. When you're having thoughts that are not of, when you're having thoughts that are not of God, that don't align with God and his values and his purpose for you, then you know that that's not God. Do you know that that is not good? That's not good for you. And that is something I keep, because I had a really rough, this weekend was great, but I had a rough one on Saturday night into Sunday morning. Saturday night, I just went to bed because I was like, these thoughts were popping in my head. And I didn't want to bother hubby at that time. He was having fun. He was gaming. And I was like, I'm just going to go to bed and get rid of, like, just sleep. And that didn't work. The thoughts came back when I woke up in the next morning. And it really, really ticked me off because it's just like, I know that these thoughts aren't of, like, they're not of God, you know? And these were negative. These were negative thoughts because I was going back to that. I still have trauma that I'm healing from. It's a work in progress. I'm a work in progress. So these thoughts will still come out. You'll still get these attacks from them, especially if you start, like, really, like, doubling down. They just get stronger and stronger. And they're just trying to derail you from your purpose, you know? And they try to distract you, and you can't let that happen. So I was having thoughts about, and the thoughts are what a lot of people, like, focus on, the things that person doesn't do. And it's like, yeah, that would be nice. It's the fairy tale stuff that people, they put in these movies. the things that the people don't do, and it's just like, it was irritating because I know that the list was super small of the things that I would like him to do or like him to be, are super small, and it is stuff that it came from things that were planted in my brain. They're not realistic. So I was like, okay, I'm not going to deal with this, because it's like, sure, you know, he doesn't do these, but, who has all this? And the list is like, I can't even like say how long the list is, the things that he does for me. And it's not just like in the physical sense, but in the emotional and mental and spiritual sense. He is, he's understanding. He supports my views. He supports me, even if he doesn't necessarily agree with. If he's on the fence about it, it's fine. He'll still do it. Like, if I ask him, I was like, hey, do you want to go to church with me on, Saturday? And even if he doesn't want to, which is something I don't want him to do. Like, I don't want him to go just for me. I don't want him to go against, his wishes. So I don't force him. So we usually do Saturday, like I do Saturday church. We're together. It's not the church that he is worried about. It's like the people. Because of his experience. So he's healing, and I respect that, and I support him just like he supports me. So we're not rushing into it. We did try. We went to Saturday service. We did find the church that we liked, and he's got to really warm up to it, and he has to move at his own pace. I'm not going to pull him in and force him. He has to move at his own pace, and I respect that, and I understand that that's what God wants. God wants him to seek him, and he'll find. I can't force people, but I can be the I can be the example, and that's exactly what I'm doing with hubby. And so I'm really, because he was, he went to church. He was all in before, and then something really bad happened, and he kind of just decided that he wasn't really much on faith. Just like I did at one point, and that's like that's the big part where I got cancer, and I was diagnosed with cancer. But when I was diagnosed with cancer, and then we lost our baby, at that point we both kind of just like fell away because of we felt like the other people, like, how can God allow this? What did I do? Why am I being punished? We were looking at it completely the entire wrong way. So and him, it's taking a little bit longer because he also lost his mom. And he's got a lot of things he's working. He's getting there. He's definitely, he prays with me, and so he's getting there. And I want him to do it on his own time. He's got to do it at his own pace. I'm not going to force him, but he supports me. He doesn't scoff at me. He doesn't tell me I'm delusional if I'm telling him things, especially when I get downloads. And he doesn't say I'm going crazy. He listens to me. He's attentive, and he's like understanding, and there's some things he's like, wow, yeah, I get that. I actually do agree with that. So it's a lot of things that are coming together that I couldn't even fathom. Like, this is beyond, this is supernatural for sure. Like, having two people with what we've gone through still be together there is no other being. The only thing I can think of is God. And he interceded. He came in, and he was that strength that we both needed, unbeknownst to us, because we didn't know at the time. What I'm doing, I'm trying to figure out what I want to do. So that's why I'm kind of going through that thing and talking at the same time. But I do have, I think, a bit of ADHD, because I usually get distracted when I'm talking, so and sometimes get distracted when I'm building. I try to multitask. I can multitask when I'm working, but when I'm talking about something like this, it's just I want to focus, But anyway, so that's where we're at right now with that. I don't want him to be forced into it. I want him to come, but the purpose of that, what I was talking about, was just the bad, I've tried to find the daisy, I know I own it, but it's just those bad thoughts. There it is. the bad thoughts that come in, the negativity is not, it doesn't align with God. So that's anxiety, stress, negativity, doubt, despair, anything opposite of what God encompasses, which is love, light, mercy, forgiveness. There's more, but my brain just derailed for a second. So, but he's all things of love and light. He's all things that are good and pure. And then you have the darkness, which is the complete opposite of that. And they want to keep you in the slums. They want to keep you down, depressed. They want to keep you hopeless. And those thoughts will creep in once in a while, and you have to just squash them. And that's what I was doing. And I was like, I woke up so angry, and he's like, what's wrong? And I was like, it's like, I kept having these like negative thoughts and it kept like saying that you weren't doing enough and you could do better, and I could do better. Like I could have a man who could take care of me. And it was like mysterious, because we're in a situation where we're comfortable, but we're not like where we want to be. But we're working to that together. We're working it's our goal together. This negativity was just like creeping in, and it was just saying all this stuff. And I was just like, wait a minute, I was just like telling my brain, I was like, stop. I love him for one. Ain't no amount of money it's gonna make me go. It doesn't matter. I have had men approach me before, even when we were going through a rough time. I had one message. It's like, you need to. This was someone that was in a group that both he and I were in, out of the blue, just messages to say you should move to Missouri and come live with me because I could take better care of you. I can give you everything you want. And I've had a couple of men do that. A couple of friends do that. And it was just like, because at one point we were like really, we were open, and we talked to a lot of people. Like we had a lot of quote unquote friends. And a lot of these friends we're in a group, and some were here in Wisconsin that we hung out with in person. But these particularly people were out of state. One was in Texas, one was in Missouri. I think there's another one that was in California. And it was the same, because they knew that we were in an open relationship. They thought that they could be like, oh, that means that you're not happy. I was only in an open relationship because at the time, that's what the hubby wanted. That's what he wanted. Because at the time, he was unsure of the relationship. Because he was going through a lot. He was fighting a lot of demons at that time. I went along with it because I just wanted him to see him happy. And I thought that, if this is what it takes for him to learn and to start growing, then I'm going to stick by him. And it was a challenging time for us, but it was also a learning experience. We learned a lot of valuable lessons, especially with people, because both of us were, me especially was more inclined to trust somebody. I was like, I have to, I could trust them, and then it just it came to a part where I started to learn about, I really started to learn that I need to be more diligent. I am just looking at the daily forecast. Put that over there. And my messy, that's where my brain gets derailed. But we learned some valuable lessons. I got to walk in the darkness more. I got to see side of people that a lot of people typically don't see. And I got to learn a lot of valuable information about the reasons that people put themselves in that situation, because I went through it, and I have seen a lot of people go through it. So that armed me with a lot of information. Do I regret? I can't say that I regret it. because it did. It brought us closer because of how we learned, and it led me to God. It did. Make all these mistakes that I made, everything that had happened led me to God. So no, I wouldn't have changed anything, because maybe I would have listened a little bit better and not put myself in some situations. I've been assaulted, and I can't say it was like an assault on a couple of times, because I don't think the person understood what they were doing, because alcohol was involved. But when you have a female and she is drunk beyond where she's able to keep her eyes open, I don't think that you should engage in sexual behaviors with her, because she may have, 3 or 4 hours ago, but like now it's 3 or 4 hours is a difference. But the person, I guess, assumed that just because 3 or 4 hours ago it was okay, but now they didn't understand. So like, you don't really hold it against them. But I do feel like I was violated, and it happened at 2 different occasions. I didn't learn my lesson because I didn't think that it mattered. Like, I was punishing myself. So, in a way, I was like, I didn't really care. It was heartbreaking. I put myself in those situations where I was, I don't know where I'm going to put I think I'll put it over here, honestly. I want to put a fireplace in, but it might not be the fireplace that I want. I'm going to put some Nuka Girl rugs down. I wish I had different Nuka Cola rugs. Oh, there's Test Your Metal. Anyway, so I think I would have, I wouldn't have changed the things that I needed, but I definitely would have not done a couple of the things that were, harmful to me, in a physical sense. I definitely would have made better decisions, in that instance. So, I want to go with this, right here, and I'll put it here. There we go. And then over here is just going to be seating so you can see over. But we're going to go do Test Your Metal if everyone shows up. And then we'll do more on this. But we'll continue until I see more people go. Chairs. I went right past it. So that's kind of like what happened with me. So that's part of my story. Anyway, so I'm going to try to find this sofa. There it is. I forgot what I was talking about when I got into that, Just lovely. I always make these crooked. I don't have anything to really, gauge the straightness. So I'm, using that's pretty straight. That's pretty straight. And then put that there. I gotta figure out where to put the bath. Oh, that's right. I'm gonna do the outside bathroom with the jacuzzi. It's gonna be a spa. I think that'll be a good thing. But hubby supports me. And so of all of the things that the negativity was saying who doesn't do enough of, I was like, you know what? Who might not do those 3 things, but look at this long list. It was a long list. I was just listing everything in my head, and it just kept going and going and going. I was like, yeah, see, and I was talking to myself in my head. I was just fighting it. I was like, yeah, this is not right. He does so much more than that for me, and I'm not going to worry about those little things because they don't matter. Those little things are stuff that was put in my head by television, and it's not anything that matters. It doesn't make me happy. Money doesn't make me happy. Seeing his face, seeing his smile, that makes me happy. Being able to hug him makes me happy. there is no amount of in this world that could take me from him. No amount of money whatsoever. So I was fighting that, and then I talked to him about it, and he just listened. So this is another thing. He listened to me, and he understood what I was going through, because I've had that before, and he has moments where it's like that, where he tells me that he'll have moments where it's like, sometimes it's like, I don't think that I'm good enough for you, like, you deserve so much more. And I was like, you deserve so much more what? You are everything that I could have ever dreamed of. Whew, I get emotional. See, this is one of my problems. I am a feeler for sure. I feel everything so deeply. So when I love somebody, I love them. When I care about somebody, a friend, family member, I care. Like, I care. It goes deep. And I'm emotional because it's like the amount of love that I have. It's like it can't be contained inside, so it just comes out as tears. And the only thing is I feel like no one can understand me when I cry. So, it is like, alright, hold it together, Max, hold it together. Anyway, so that was another example. So, like, when those negative thoughts come in, it's just like, that's exactly what I do now. I don't entertain them. I counter them. And you can counter them with prayer. You can counter them with a combination of prayer, a combination of talking with your partner. And I say partner, like, because I don't know if you're a woman or a man listening. But like with me, I talk to my husband, and then he talks to me. When he gets those, and it just helps us work through it. And then, of course, talking to yourself, being, no, I know that he loves me. He shows that he loves me. There's not a doubt in my mind that he doesn't love me and that he loves me. There's no doubts. There's nothing that says that he doesn't love me. We've had rough years. That doesn't mean that he doesn't love me. That just means that we are both growing as people. I think I might put one of these up. I'll have to change the wall type though, because it like turns red. And it's crooked, as I'll get out. See what it does? It won't be straight right now, but I'll fix it when it gets closer. Let's check texture metal. Sweet, okay. It has been 6 years that we've been together. We celebrated our 6th anniversary this February. And through all of that, it tries to use the past to like validate those negative thoughts. And then you have to that's where you have to double down and be like, no, we've gone through this. I'm not going to entertain that thought. And tell yourself all the good things, because when those negative thoughts come in, especially if it's like, oh, you don't do this, you don't do that, and you have to focus on the things that they do, and then you have to understand, okay, maybe what is the reason that they don't do that, and there's nothing on my list of he doesn't do that is valid to me. These things are things that we are put together in on a romance novel. It's things that are just like crazy, but it's doable. But it's like, is it that important? That it's not perfect. So that's my that was my issue this weekend. It was an okay weekend in that regard.
That was the easy part.
Did Aunt send someone over here to spy on
I had to cough, sorry. So that's yeah, I know I could sideways, I don't know. I apologize. I'm all over the place with this thought. But that's kind of how it was for me. And I was just very thankful to have a husband that is not afraid to be vulnerable with me, is not afraid to show that he loves me, and what in the world? Like, it just appeared out of nowhere. It appeared out of nowhere. Trash can. The commentary that they do, the comments that these NPCs make are, they're funny. I was standing at my camp, and there was like a mutant hound that came in and was attacking my ally. So I was like, oh, if there's a mutant hound, then there's mutants. Yeah, sure enough, there were 3 mutants standing just a bit away from my camp, and they were talking amongst each other. And I guess calling each other names, because one was like, oh, you're not worth it. And I was like, wait? And it's just like the commentary on some of these, and it's the same thing if you go to West Tech. If you go to West Tech, yeah, 19 and 20. Alright, we should be, almost done. Oh, wait, prepare for the final round. Stretch.
It's time for the Scourge of Steel, the gruesome gouger, the
The Grimbots. Oh, there's another one over here. I can't, like, see them. Oh well. I think I have a teammate or 2 in here. If they hit it, I'll get the loot.
They got me.
Cease resistance. Submit to death. Once again, the gladiators
Oh, okay, they're all down.
Fall in and let's head back to base.
Damn it.
Fine. You won this time. I'll give you 10 seconds to get out of here before it's open season on gladiators.
Alright, so I got everything. Did I get any new plans, I wonder? I did. I got the Blacksmith torso. Oh, lovely. I mean, something better than nothing, right? I've been trying to get new plans from events, but it's just like they like to give you all the ones that you've already known. Alright, let's go back to the camp. Our wait, carry weight's okay. We'll keep the legendaries. Today is a cloudy one. I don't know if we're expecting rain. I know that they said something about snow in northern Wisconsin, but let's take a look what the weather says for today. Well, it's supposed to be full sun today. Oh wait, no. That's a different town I was looking into. Aha. I was looking into a part of Arizona. So today's supposed to be 38 degrees, and we have snow showers this morning. And it's windy out there. It was not too windy when I was out there earlier. And back in the 30s today, but then it goes back up into the 40s, and then it goes 50s, and then we get a couple of days of 60 degree weather. Sunday and Monday. Saturday is 59 degrees, so, and it's mostly sunny. And then partly cloudy for Saturday, for Sunday and Monday. So, Um, interesting. Interesting. I was kind of like excited there for a second, but I was like, oh, that's a part in Arizona. Never mind. Um, I was just looking at property, and I was thinking of there is a point in time where I want to be seasonal, and as soon as we're able to, I want to be able to like literally go and have the ability to work from home, which is I'm working on right now. Um, and then from there, you can buy a nice place here that is from I want to say April to October. You could buy a nice place for 38,000. Just like a little 1-2 bedroom at these campgrounds, and they're seasonal. They got pools, ponds, lakes. So up here is really like, okay, I'm thinking about that because these places are winterized. Great for the summer, and then in the winter we can go to like a place he likes, Arizona. And I was thinking of northern Arizona. Northern Arizona, there's like parcels that you can purchase down there, and we can buy a schoolie for a few thousand. It doesn't have to be perfect or anything, but we can buy one of those, or we could just get like a camper that we could put down there, and start building a place maybe, or put a small cabin. The endless possibilities, but we could stay down in northern Arizona. We could purchase anywhere from 1 to 2, 3 acres for less than 7,000, and then that has power, and then we could put in a septic tank, because most of them come with septic tank rights, like they have the approval already. There was even a 40-acre one, like if we wanted to have a place where we could do like trails, or maybe start our own little RV park, whatever have you. So there's 40 acres, like 28,000, but we don't need a whole lot of land. But like I'm thinking 1 to 3 acres would be perfect for us. That's enough room for us and our dogs, and it's northern Arizona. That stays very nice in the winter time. So, and we'd be able to stay there from, until from October until April, and then in April come back up here. From April until October, we'd be up here, and then October to April. But it would be perfect. Part of the year here in Wisconsin, part of the year down in Arizona, and I think the dogs would love it. It's just us two and our 2 dogs. We don't have a lot of possessions. We don't care to have a lot of possessions. So it would just be perfect. And that is like the goal that I'm aiming for. I don't want a mansion. I don't want a big home, like a giant homestead. I just want a small little cabin. It's just the 2 of us. And then have a place where I can get a nice garden going in the summer. And I would have enough, room in the campgrounds there to do a little garden if I wanted to. Or I could just, do a greenhouse. In Arizona, it's going to be warm enough, and then you can have plants all year round there. It's endless opportunities of what I could potentially do. So that's our goal for that. I was showing him, it's like, oh, that's not too bad at all. I was like, I know, right? We get our finances in order. We're smart. This will be, something we can accomplish. We give it up to God, and if it's meant for us, God he knows our hearts, and he wants to do what's right by our hearts, but our hearts have to be in the right place, because if we're given something that we want, and we're not able to responsibly manage that, who knows what's going to happen. If you step into money when you're not, you haven't gone through the trials and tribulations to know how to manage that money, then who knows, it's going to end up here. They're going to give it away to people. You're going to be irresponsible with it. So that's what I did when I came into the money I had with savings and moved here. I was not responsible with it. That was a lesson learned. So that's kind of like, why a lot of people are like, oh, why can't I have it now? It's like, well, you have to understand that it's all within his timing. His timing is perfect timing. His timing is going to be perfect to what he knows that you're going to be able to manage it. You're going to be able to turn the money that you're getting into something that is like generational. And he's going to help you. And he's going to be the one to get that for you. But he's going to need you to manage it and also give back. So, and I'm not talking about like just like it's not like giving all your money away or building these massive, homeless shelters. It's just being kind and generous to people when he puts that on your heart to help someone. So it's just you have to wait for his divine timing. I need these kitchen tables, so I know you can get them from Graham, so I just have to find Graham on this account and then be lucky enough to have them. So I'm trying to think of what I want to do here. Oh, look at that. Yeah. There's some caps swarming. 31,000. I'll have to be careful now. I think what'll happen is when hubby hops on, if he wants to hop on, he's been kind of done with Fallout lately because the ghoul is not as exciting as he was anticipating. They needed to put more quests in with the ghoul to make it like a little better. Alright, let's continue on with building. Alright, so I'm just going to set my couch. Okay, that's okay. Enjoy, I guess. And there's one Violent Night, so we'll wait for that to happen. I think what I want to do is see, I've got this here for the dining, because I usually build these with my husband and I in mind, just us two. This bed here, a little small for us, but we can make it work. We've shared a twin bed before when I first got here, before we got our full, and then our queen, because we went from because he had a twin who's just by himself, so he just had a twin. We slept on that for a little bit, and then we got a full. Full wasn't big enough, but it was made do, and then we got our queen bed set, and it's got it usually is, so it's got the backboard, and it's just where you put a mattress. It doesn't need a box spring, and then it has drawers at the end of it and a bench. It's beautiful. I love it. But I think I'll put this here with black. Which one do I go with, though? Probably this here. But I could also put it behind the couch. Oh, this is difficult. This is difficult. I'm not too sure what I'm going to do now. Maybe I'll put the couch over here. Maybe I'll put it over here instead. Next to the bookshelf. Because I don't want this to be... And then I'll put chairs like right there. Here we go. Put a painting here. I want... Like, this would be nice. But I don't have the plan for these. I'll put a picture. Let's see which one gives us the vibe. That gives us a good vibe right there. That does too with the clouds in the sky. I'll go with that one and see how that looks. Maybe. This might have an issue. Anyway, that's kind of what I wanted it to talk about. And just do this little bit of building and some events. I do have to get a schedule going. This Wednesday is my first class. So I will be going, I am back to school. And back to school means I'm going to be spending a big chunk of my day each day, doing schoolwork, and learning this exciting new adventure that I'm going on. But I am going to continue my streams. I know I don't have really many followers right now, but this is mostly like, I was told that this is going to find the people that it needed to find at the right time. So, whoever's listening to this, it might be a year from now, 2 years from now, 3 years from now, who knows? But if they say everything that's put on the internet stays on the internet, and I'm hoping this does stay on there, and it finds whoever needs to be found, provided that YouTube is still going. We'll try this again. There we go. But anyway, so I just wanted to come on here and talk a little bit about what I did, and then, just build a little bit with you guys. I didn't get very far doing the events. Getting those treasury notes is a big thing I wanted to do. We got a little bit of decorating done, though. I mean, it's coming together quite nice with the pink, the purple, the reds. I wanted to bring out my femininity in here. Usually I set my camps up in a more like a neutral build, to where it's like campy, homey, warm. This one I wanted to be bright, vibrant, pink, reds, the beautiful colors that I love, that I was shamed for as a child. And as that grew older, I decided that I wasn't going to like pink anymore, or purples, or anything like that, because it being too girly, I was shamed for it. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to embrace that part of me, and I'm so wonderfully blessed to be able to have a husband who supports anything that I want to do. When I decided, when I told him about the college and stuff, he was like, "I'm so proud of you," and he didn't question. He didn't say, "What were you thinking? How are you going to pay for this?" He trusted me, that I was trusting in God. Literally, when I signed up for this, I had no idea. Like, I told him, I was like, "I don't even know." It's just like this, the opportunity came to me. I took it, and before I knew it, I was already going through the process of funding. And then when I got approved, I started to cry, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, what did I just do?" And then it just like, everything just started rolling, and it was like, "Oh my gosh!" And before I knew it, I was starting. I was starting, and it was just like crazy. It was crazy. And then when I got approved for funding, I literally did cry, because it was like, there's always that part of you. You're doing something, and you're like, "I don't even know how I'm going to be able to do this. Like, how am I going to be able to afford college?" And then it's like I remember God saying, "Don't worry about the how. Don't worry about where it's going to come from. Just follow. Be obedient." And I'm like, okay, I'm going to be obedient. I'm just going to follow this. His gut feeling is putting me in this direction. I'm not going to worry about how. I'm not going to worry about where it's going to come from. I'm just going to do it. And then lo and behold, once I signed up, and then the time came for me to select a learning coach, and then to select funding, and then I'm like, oh man, I clicked on the funding, and I was just like, this is it. I'm just going to go with it. I'm not going to question. I'm not going to do anything. I'm just going to click on it, and it just miraculously all worked out. And I was like, holy crap, that's crazy. God moves in ways that we cannot understand, and we're not designed to understand. We're not capable of understanding the magnitude of the things that He can do for us. He has shown us throughout the Bible of just how magnificent and powerful He is, and how loving and kind and merciful and forgiving He is. So when we're reading the Bible, we have to keep that. And it's like you see the destruction, but then you're like understanding the reason why that destruction had to happen. Oh, nope, nobody went to... Oh, they finished it already. Oh, that's crazy. Usually it takes a little bit of time. That's okay. We'll catch the next event. I'll catch the next event. I'll be letting you guys go, because hubby is going to call pretty soon. And I wanted to not let the stream go to 2 hours, because I don't think anyone is going to be there watching me talk for 2 hours and just sit here and stare at this pink wall and fireplace. So, it's just, again, when we're reading the Bible, and you start to understand that, that He is there to be. This doesn't look even. The painting looks even, but this doesn't look even. Maybe it's just it's my point of view. See if it does look even right here. But as I was saying, and I knew I say that a lot, sorry. We tend to forget that our Father is we put the restrictions of what we have onto Him and the limitations that we have, forgetting that there is no limitations for Him. He has no limits. He is the creator of everything that we see, everything that we feel. He is the creator of this beautiful world that we're in right now. And it's just like you start to just like pull that back, and you're like, whoa, and everything just gets massive. And you're like, okay. Now I could see that my limitations are me, for my human flesh. He is not bound by bones. He's not bound by flesh. Who is everywhere. Who is he has I don't even know what to say, like the words I can't even, like, nothing can really come to describe our Father. And when we think about our world, and then we think about the things that we want to do, we put those limitations. I don't have enough money, or I can't go, I don't have time for that. And then we put those limitations on God, thinking that, I want this, and we don't take it to God because we're like, we don't think He could do it. And it's like, we put those limitations on Him. We don't mean to. I think a lot of people don't mean to. It's just like our conditioning, that we have been conditioned and brainwashed since childhood to think that we have to make things happen. It's us. We have to do it. We have to do it. We have to do it. We have to do this. We have to do that. We have to have this. We have to have that to be happy. And that is all just conditioning to keep us in what people refer to as the Matrix. We're pretty much slaves to the world, because the world wants us to remain, to do the things that wants us to do to keep the world spinning, so to speak, on in their terms. Like, they want us to keep producing money. They want us to keep producing assets for them. We are nothing but just tools to them to build their monetary, their worldly wealth, not understanding that you're not going to take any of this where you go. You can build as much worldly wealth as you want, but it's not going to matter. It's not going to matter in the spiritual realm, because the spiritual realm, the spiritual realm is much more than just materialistic things here on earth. The worldly things don't matter. What matters is what you do in the spirit, and how you treat people, how you conduct yourself, being kind, being gentle, being forgiving, forgiving yourself, being kind to yourself, offering a lending hand to someone who's in need, not being judgmental, not being critical, not being merciful to people. We have to understand that God is love, and that's what He wants us to do. He wants us to love each other. He wants us to grow in that aspect where we're not picking human. We're not saying human life is less valuable than monetary, because a lot of people are like, I'm gonna do this because it's more valuable than a person. We choose, or a lot of people choose, instead of spending time with their family, instead of spending time with the people that they say that they love, they're out working, most of the time, and they're not thinking about anything else. They're not thinking about their own health. They're not thinking about anything else except just greed. That's what they want. Or you have people who are self-centered. All they do is think about themselves, and they don't care about anybody else. So they do whatever it takes for themselves than it does to stop and think about, okay, does this person need help? Does that, they don't care if their actions hurt anybody else. They don't care if what they say hurts anybody else. If it feels good to them, they're going to do it. If it feels good to them, they're going to say it. If it feels good to them, they're going to do whatever they want to do. If it benefits them, they don't really care about what happens to anybody else. God wants us to get away from that, because that kind of thinking, that kind of action is not of God. That doesn't align with God. The God is love, and all things light, all things good, all things pure, and that is not God. Anyway, I forgot where I was going with what I was saying. I got too caught up in it because my mind starts to really spin a million miles an hour. Because when I start talking about things, I start to see examples in my head of things that I've saw throughout my lifetime, and it runs like a movie, and I'm sitting here, and I'm just like, I'm watching it unfold. So sometimes I'll lose myself in discussion, and then I'll lose like where I was going, because it just keeps going. And I apologize for that, but hopefully you understand what I'm saying. Just know that if you're watching this and you're in that moment in your life where you feel stuck, you feel trapped, you feel like nothing is going your way, you feel like people are dropping out of your life, if you haven't yet, if you're scared to, whatever the reason, if you're worried about what other people think, step back for a moment and drown out everybody else. Look inside and see what you want. What is going to be something that you want to do? Like, does it matter what your mom and dad thinks, or what your siblings think, what your friends think when you get closer to God? Doesn't matter. They're not the ones who are going to save you. They're not the ones who are going to save you. They're not the ones who are going to fight the world for you. Sure, you have a friend or two, maybe a family member who might, but you're not going to be able to rely on anybody in human form. Everyone is going to, at one point or another, hurt you. They're going to disappoint you. They're going to let you down. That is humans. We're not perfect. We're not perfect at all. But what brings peace to me is knowing that God will never forsake me. He'll never let me down. I can always rely on him. I can always count on him. There's nothing he cannot lie. So what I do is God above everybody else. And I'm trying to get better at talking it through with God before I do anything, because I want to know if what I'm doing is right. I'm not going to go to why would I go to a person and ask, hey, is this a good idea? When they could let you down. You never know what their true intentions are for you. They could love you, but there could be that demon inside of them saying, oh, don't let them, outshine you. Don't let them be better than you. And they can steer you wrong. They don't want to intentionally, but they could give you false information. They could give you guidance that is incorrect. That's what I have found. So it's just like, I'm trying to get better at going to God with the directions I want to go, and just feeling that, not listening to anybody else, like, should I do this? Should I do this? It's just like pulling within and seeking that guidance from God, and feeling that gut feeling and knowing that, okay, this is what's right for me, and not relying on every other person to determine, like, should I do this? I let God be my compass. I'm trying to get better at that. That understanding is like, people let you down, it doesn't mean that you have to hate them. It doesn't mean you love them any less. It just happens, and it's best for me, and I will take their consideration, of course. If they provide me with advice, I'm going to take that, but I'm not going to hold it as the end all be all. I'm going to take that into consideration, but I am going to seek first the guidance of God. That's something I've been trying to do. So maybe that would be helpful for you as well. Just don't rely on other people, because at a point in time, even you're in a marriage, we're not perfect. You will also let people down. It's nothing that we purposely do. It's just we're not perfect. We're not perfect beings. The only one that is perfect is God. And going to Him, taking into consideration others, of course, but always try to go to Him before you put anybody else before Him. It's just something I've been trying to do to get closer to Him, and to let Him know that I value my relationship with Him as my Father, and I do want to utilize His guidance and His knowledge and everything that He is for me, because I know that His path for me is beautiful, and I don't want to do this on my own. I can't do this on my own. So just lean into Him once in a while if you're feeling stuck. Sometimes we do go through those periods where we're at a purging part in our life where we're thinking things are unraveling, but in instance, it's things that don't serve us, that have no purpose for us at this point in time, start to fall away. Nothing's permanent, though. Not everything that God removes from your life is permanent. He could remove something from your life that you cannot manage right now, and then when you are at that point, He'll bring it back so He knows that you can manage it. Maybe it'll be a person, maybe it'll be a job, maybe it'll be, what have you, a dream. He can remove that from your life right now and put that on a back burner, saying that you're not where you need to be able to manage that situation, that person, that job. But He could bring those back into your life when He has you at a moment where you can manage it. So don't think that everything that is falling away right now is going to be, forever. You could be at a season where, finances are tough. Maybe you had a problem managing your finances, and He's removing them so that way you learn how to manage them, and you learn how to be more responsible, and not, if you're a person that's like me, you're so giving, and you're so compassionate towards people that anytime someone came to you with a sob story, you were readily available, and you gave them more than what you should have. You can help them a little bit, but you're always oh, here, I insist. And you deplete all of your funds without pouring back into you yourself, and you're left there, and then those people, God knows, aren't going to do the same to you. They're not going to be oh, here, you helped me. I have to help you, and say thank you. Some of the people that come into your life, they have no intentions of being sincere with you when it's needed. They don't necessarily need it. They're just taking from you because they know that you'll give it to them. So there could be something that you want to buy. All right, so it is time for me to get off of Fallout. Because it is an update. I completely forgot about the update. It is 9 o'clock. But as I was saying in the last 4 minutes before we get shut down from here, when it comes to people especially, I've learned that there's people out there who will pretend to love you, pretend to care about you, because they know that if you feel like they actually care about you, that you will be extra giving, and that you're not going to question anything that they say. So when they come to you with I need this for this, you'll give it to them without question, and you're not going to ask for anything back in return. You're just going to give it to them because you care about them, and they use you. They could be like, oh gosh, I really want to buy these new $200 sneakers, but I don't want to spend my own money. And they just think of you, and then they come to you and oh, can I borrow $200? I got to do this for my dog's to go to the vet, or I got to pay this bill, and I came on. And then they know that you're not going to question it. They know that you're not going to question it. You're going to care too much about them and their well-being, and you're just going to give it to them. So God knows. He knows your heart. He knows how wonderful you are. He knows how pure and beautiful you are. But he doesn't want you to just give it away without being like, without managing your energy and your resources. So he wants to arm you with the knowledge and discernment, so that way you know, and you could be like, hey, I can't give you the 200, but here's 20. I got $20 to spare. I know it's not, what you want, but you know that $20 is better than, having 200 and depleting you. You're still giving, but you're being more discerned. You're being more careful, because you're able to pick up on their I won't say lie, but they're being like dishonest. Like they're not being honest with you. So you're able to pick up on the dishonesty. The thing about you is that you don't fault them for it. You know that it's like what Jesus said on the cross. Forgive them, Father, for they don't know what they do. They don't know. A lot of people don't know that there's demons pulling the strings behind them, and they don't know that the war that we're going on right now. We're here to have that compassion, to help be that example for people, to be like, wow, they're really going through it, and then when they need you and they're seeking, they can come to you and you're by their side. They'll know it. They'll be like, oh wow, you went through all of this with me, even when I was like a horrible person to you and being dishonest and greedy, you still stuck by me. And they'll come to you. That is love right there. That's love. That's being loved. That's being merciful. It's being forgiven, because you know that no, we're not perfect, and people are going to do things, and you understand that it's not necessarily, something that they know that they're doing. That could be something that they grew up knowing, based on their parents. So just like stick with that knowledge, knowing that. That anything that is leaving may not be permanent. It may come back. Anyway, we have a minute left on Fallout and before I get booted, and then it's going to end the stream. So I will catch you guys on Wednesday. It'll be early morning. I'll probably start my stream about 6 a.m. Central Time. It'll be for an hour, from 6 to 7. I start work on Wednesday at around 9:45 to 10 is when I'll start school. So I have to get chores and stuff done, get my dogs exercised and whatnot. So that's the schedule. It'll be 6 a.m. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 6 a.m. Central Time, 6 to 7, 6 to 7:30, however long I got. So I'll see you guys on Wednesday. Have a blessed day. Have a great day. I hope your week is wonderful. And thank you so much for watching. And remember, you matter, you are loved, and you are needed in this world. Thanks again for watching, and have a wonderful day.